Modern lenses are so sharp, they're actually sharper than my eyesight. And very often when I bring footage back home and I put it on the TV or on the computer, I look at it and I think, I don't actually see things that way. And sometimes I want to de-sharpen the footage because the edges are so sharp. I don't think really our eyes work that way. We don't see edges so well defined, or at least I don't. And I've only got about 10-10 vision, I don't know. I think cameras have got 40-40 or something because they're just razor sharp. Sometimes you want to do something about that and get a really nice soft image. And to do that, you need filters. The filters that I use are here. They're called the Black Pro-Mist. They're made by Tiffen, and I've got them in different strengths. They go from an eighth to a quarter to a half. I think you can even go up to a 1. I also have a thing called Glimmerglass, which is by Tiffen. It's a very weak one, which just takes the digital sharpness away and keeps a lot of detail. But these are all in different strengths. And one of these is empty. That one's not. Nor's that. That's not. That must be the Glimmerglass. That one. And that's the one I've got on my camera now. And that's the Tiffen 1/2. So what I did, I took them all out, went down to the local pond and took some pictures, and I tried to time the video so that the changes take place with the music, so it gives you an idea of what's going on. So I've gone from Glimmerglass to an eighth to a quarter to a half, and you'll hear with the music it will change at certain times and keep reverting back to without a filter, so you can see what it's actually doing. Take a look. If you were watching that footage on a phone or a small iPad or something, you probably didn't see any massive differences between taking the filter off and putting it on, because you need a bigger screen perhaps, or a better screen to look at it, because then you'll see that one, the shadows were raised slightly, and also the overall sharpness of the image did come down, so the whole thing doesn't look quite so digital. Now the thing is, that's all very well. That was a sunny day. It was cold, but it was sunny and bright. So that's quite handy on a sunny, bright day when you want to have less contrast going on. So I decided to go out on a really grey day. Actually, this was a particularly grey day. And again, it was cold because we're in the middle of winter here and it's freezing cold. But it was a very, very grey day. As a matter of fact, right at the very end, it started to chuck it and I had to make a run for it. But it was really grey and dismal. And I put the same filter on just so you could see what this thing looks like in dull weather as well, because that softness can look actually rather nice. One of the features of these types of filters is that they bloom highlights. So very often in demos, people take pictures of lights or flashlights and flash them around so you can see the halation around the bright objects. So what I've done is I've got out in the night time and just taken a few shots of lights and things, just so you can see what kind of halation you would get if you have one of these filters. Following this video going out, I can see a lot of people writing to me to ask me which one would I get if I was only going to get one. I really can't answer that. It depends on how much sharpness you want or how much smoothness you want, really. I was using mostly 1/2 for the demo because that was the strongest and gives you a better idea of what's going on. So I tend to use that one quite a lot myself. The 1/2 is very useful for sunshine when you've got high contrast because it lifts the shadows, smooths the image. The 1/4 is very handy for scenes where you've got nighttime and lights going on because it doesn't bloom quite as much on the highlights. Unless you like that bloom, I quite like it anyway, so I tend to use a 1/2 or a 1/4 during the nighttime. On a dull day, I might use the Glimmerglass or the 1/8 because it does less. It does a lot less. It just takes that digital shimmer, that digital thing off your video. And that's all I want on those days, perhaps when it's really dull. On the dull day I went out, I used a 1/2. So making that decision is a matter of personal taste if you're only going to get one. I would personally get probably the 1/2 and only use it maybe on sunny days, and that way the contrast is slightly lowered for me, the shadows are raised, and I get that smoothness. But I don't know if I would want to video some smooth and other bits not smooth, because you might see the difference. I don't know. This whole video has been done using the 1/2, except in the demos. So in the demo by the pond I used all of them, and then for the rest it was all 1/2. So that gives you an idea of what the full strength 1/2 looks like. I think they go even higher, but I don't think even I would go any higher than that. So I hope this was useful to you, especially if you're thinking about getting something like a Pro-Mist or something like that to soften the picture for you and make it look less digital. It's a difficult decision to make if you're only going to get one. But I hope it was useful, and I really hope to see you next time. Cheers for now.